I make the harness that I make out of poly webbing, and I use 2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch webbing. The 2 inch webbing is the back saddle, the breeching, other places where I need a broad distribution of load. The 1 inch is most of the pieces. That's the straps that hold everything together, the belly band, and many other straps. The 3/4 is for the places where straps have to be smaller or they'd be too awkward. In particular, the straps that hang the bit are 3/4 inch, and the strap that goes under animal's chin is 3/4 inch. I buy most of my hardware and my poly from Amazon. I'm not proud of that, but I live out in sticks and I can get it there. That's a bar buckle. It's a regular buckle, except it's got an additional bar across it so the strap doesn't have to have a hole in it for the buckle tongue to come through. I buy those by the bag full. You'll see a lot of those go into this project. The bar buckle I showed you is a 1 inch buckle that works with this 1 inch strap. That's a 3/4 inch buckle, and it's not got a bar. This buckle, the tongue has to go through the webbing, but it places where I use it, the stresses are low. 1 inch steel rings. That's another item that as you can see, I buy those in bulk. I use those for all kind of things around the place, and particularly, seems like I always find some place where harness needs another one. 2 inch steel rings. You need fewer, but I'll have a few on every harness. In particular, the 2 inch rings hang on the spider for the lines to pass through to keep them up well clear of the animal's legs and feet. Lots of snaps. 2 snaps hold the bit on, 2 snaps hold the line to the bit, 2 snaps hold the quarter straps to the breast strap or the belly band, and I use a lot of snaps. Snaps on lead rope, snaps on this and that. The snaps that I can buy here locally at the farm supply store are from a Koch Enterprises industry, or I can buy these from Jeff Bezos. There are no good solutions in modern America. These things are called Conways. They're not a buckle. They don't have any moving parts. That thing's just a stab. And what they do is they're used in straps to adjust the usable length of a strap. And you can use either one or two per strap, or you can use a Conway on one end and a snap on the other end. It depends a lot on how you make your stuff. Some people don't use Conways at all. You can pretty much use a buckle anywhere. You could use a Conway, and Conways work better with leather than they do with plastic. But I use them, and I'll explain them when I get there, in the project. 2 inch D-rings. I only use those really one place on a harness, and that's at the terminal ends of the breeching. I don't use any smaller D-rings at all. I could, but they're harder to get. They're often more expensive, and I can use 1 inch round rings. Every place you could use a D-ring as a hanging part. This thing here is called a trace chain, or a tug chain, or a tail chain. It's got a pivot here, which makes it better than the ones I'm using now, because they don't. This part, the 2 inch strap of the tugs, wraps around that. And these parts, these links, connect to the load. If you watch my harnessing videos, you know how that process works. The different links are because in different jobs you need slightly longer or shorter harnesses. That's a bit. That's a a straight bar or a mullen mouth bit. I've got it upside down. Those pieces that hang down are for the same purpose that I use a chin strap, which is to keep the bit from pulling through. This arched single bar, contrary to what might seem like, is, according to Sydney, my farrier, who's my fount of knowledge, the mildest there is, the least pain, the least discomfort to the animal. And already after just a few weeks, Missy's getting to where she can really tell what I'm asking her to do with the bit. And I don't have to pull very hard or apply much pressure. She can tell what I want, and she can do that. And she always comes back from work in a good mood, so I know it's not hurting her. This piece right here is only used if you're going to work animals in a team, and that'll hang under their chest. A piece hangs here that goes between both animals. A strap goes on here that goes back and ultimately winds up sending pull to their britchin, and that's a piece of the braking mechanism for a team. And I don't know what it's called at all. I'm sure it's got a name. That's pretty much all the hardware I use when I make a harness. I said early on in this project that I'm not half sure that I save much money making them. And part of the reason I can't be sure is because, you can't just go down to the harness store and buy, the 6 rings that you need and the 4 buckles that you need and the 7 Conways that you need. If I lived up in Jamesport, where the Amish live, I could do that. Jamesport Harness sells all those pieces one at a time like that. But as it is, if you need 8 round rings, you'll buy a dozen, and so forth and so on. The miracle of packaging. And so I don't know how I do in terms of money on this. I mostly just do it because it seems appropriate to me that I should do it. So that's tonight's story about harness. Oh, except for one more thing. The Missy's britchin is completed. I'll wrap around her fanny. I may or may not put 2 more 1-inch rings on it. I haven't decided for sure yet. I better do that. I better put one about there and there. If I can hold that britchin up a little higher behind her, near her tail, it'll make her more comfortable when she finds it necessary to urinate. I think I can get that thing up out of her way so that her urine doesn't hit it and splash back on her, which I'm sure she doesn't like. So, but that's it's at least done stage 1, and that's where we stand right now. Thanks for coming along. I'll see y'all later.